Okay, so you might have seen the headlines that the libtard media has been trying to feed you about this MS-13 gang member that just got deported, but because he has a special needs kid, they're trying to portray him as Father of the Year. And they're saying there's nothing that he's been charged with, but they didn't check all the headlines from this guy has been charged with, which were from back in 2019 when he skipped his case. So let's take a look at this.
That is for sure. An illegal alien deported to El Salvador, suspected of being a leader of MS-13. But the legacy media wants you to believe he's just an innocent father, an innocent Maryland father. John Yoo is a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General and a law professor at UC Berkeley. John, it does appear there is a tale of two narratives developing here. What do you want people to know about this?
Sandra, the government has already said they made a mistake, that even though they could have removed Mr. Garcia from the country because of his alleged MS-13 ties, there was an immigration judge who had said he shouldn't be removed temporarily. The problem here is whether it's up to the courts or whether it's up to the executive branch and the president to work out what to do with it. It's really not within the power of the courts to order the United States government to try to go to another country and grab someone and bring them back. He's outside the power of the United States right now. Our courts don't have any authority to reach him.
These activist judges, they think they have just the most ultimate power in the whole entire world. Now they think they're president, and now they think they are just going to force other leaders of other nations and other countries to just do what they say. It's insane.
The solution is not that the courts start issuing orders left and right, but that the president and the State Department try to work out a deal with El Salvador to return anybody who was sent there by mistake. But by dragging the courts in, this is going to make the problem worse and going to make a political solution even harder to get to.
Making it political.
John, this is Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, addressing first up the Atlantic headline. Okay, this is how it read. An administrative error sends a Maryland father to a Salvadoran prison.
Disgusting.
No mention of his MS-13 ties. The Trump administration says that it mistakenly deported an immigrant with protected status, but that courts are powerless to order his return. Caroline Leavitt responded to that headline at the White House press briefing yesterday. Listen.
If you just saw the headline from the insane, failing Atlantic magazine this morning, you would think this individual was Father of the Year, living in Maryland, living a peaceful life, when that couldn't be further from the truth. They didn't even mention in the title of that article or even in the first paragraph that this individual is an illegal criminal who broke our nation's immigration laws. He is a leader in the brutal MS-13 gang, and he is involved in human trafficking.
Why is the legacy media so quick to come to the defense of this person?
They love them. They love these illegals.
So many are pointing out in the wake of that, where were they for the victims in this country, legal citizens who are victimized by some of these people, these gang members here?
They'll tell you, oh, that's a red herring because the amount of illegals that come in and they're good for the economy, so it's okay if they kill a couple people in America. These leftists are so insane, man.
Really?
And this is the thing. If there were a hearing in the United States, and he did have a hearing, there was an immigration court hearing for Mr. Garcia several years ago, the government could put more of this evidence on if it wanted to. It is not the case that this is someone who was picked up randomly, who had a clean sheet, had no reason to be deported. In fact, I believe the immigration court found that there were sufficient grounds to eject him from the country, that he was in the country illegally, and that there was evidence that he was a member of MS-13.
Here we're going to get into the actual court filings from what happened. Now, this guy was, he had gotten arrested, and he just skipped his whole court date, but that doesn't mean your shit just stops.
Garcia. Kilmer Abrego Garcia illegally immigrated to this country in 2011. He illegally crossed over the southern border. A native of El Salvador, he was an illegal immigrant in the United States. That alone is a crime. And Vice President Vance pointed out Joe Biden sanctioned this invasion of the United States, even though it occurred back in 2011 for Garcia. This has been happening to the tune of 20 million illegal aliens in this country over the last several years. And the victims are measured in longer wait times for hospitals, overwhelmed schools, murder victims, and the largely media ignored all of that. The media has determined that the real victims are the gang members we're trying to get out of the country.
What I say, man, they love these gang members. They're just a net positive on the economy, right? Right, guys?
Is the story of Garcia. After illegally immigrating to this country in 2011, in 2019, he was rolled up outside of a Home Depot. In his due process, in his immigration hearings, there began to be a debate about whether or not he was a gang member. Was he a member of MS-13? Was he gang affiliated here in the United States? During that court proceeding, those court proceedings, in fact, the judge found as follows. The DHS asserted that the respondent is a verified gang member. The respondent was arrested in the company of other ranking gang members and was confirmed to be a ranking member of the MS-13 gang by a proven and reliable source. Garcia had his due process, and whether or not you can be even convicted as a gang member, it was alleged that he was, in fact.
And he didn't even deserve his due process. Boom, dude. They hate when the facts get in the way of their narrative. They just love to be smear merchants. Now check out how these libtards present this. The morning blowhard and Botox Queen. Botox Queen. She's crying over this illegal, dude. She's crying. She's shedding tears over a gang member.
The Trump administration has admitted to mistakenly deporting a Maryland father to a Salvadoran super prison.
According to his attorney,
It wasn't a
Garcia
mistake.
has no criminal record, is married to a U.S. citizen, and has a 5-year-old disabled child.
Can't they just say, we made a mistake? We need...
Please return this man.
Please return this
Look
man,
at her.
and
Look
we'll
at that.
process him
Wiping
correctly.
tears from her eyes. These people are disgusting, dude. So there you go, guys. That's all you need to know. I mean, there's a bunch of other BS surrounding this, but the facts are the facts. The guy, get him out of here. Modern Menace, peace.